tinuturo nyo mga subalterns ninyo, mga subordinates. Are you thinking ahead? You're planning to invoke the Arias Doctrine? Mabuti nandito yung DOJ. Mukhang anticipate nyo na kung ano yung defense ni Secretary Bernardo, Secretary Bonoan. Mag-i-invoke yan ng Arias Doctrine.
Your Honor, what I'm just trying to say is actually, in the hierarchy of the department, of course, I exercise overall supervision, no? But I have also undersecretaries under me, assistant secretaries, regional directors, and
Ang point ko,
discipline
Mr. Secretary, parang you're thinking ahead. Kung sakaling nasa korte na, yun ang i-invoke ninyo. Anyway, are you done? So, Senator Pangilinan is next.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Itutuloy ko lang, no? Well, just for the record, under our Philippine jurisprudence, a general denial is actually very weak in the face of specific allegations. So, yung general denial ninyo, baka kailangan nyo ng mas mahusay na abogado, former Secretary Bonoan, because it will not hold water. But anyway, having said that, we would also like to raise some questions on the testimony of the affidavit of former Yusek Bernardo. So, based on this denial of good Secretary, Mr. Bernardo, you continue to stand by your affidavit, is that right?
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
Would you like to add? Because obviously, it's his word against yours.
Mr. Chair, I have already signed my affidavit, so I affirm and I will stand by it po.
Okay, thank you. I go now to your testimony, Mr. Bonoan, with respect to Mr. former Yusek Olaivar. You have
Excuse me,
Mr.
Your Honor. Me?
Yes. Sorry, Bernardo. Mr. Bernardo's testimony, where he identified Trigiv Olaivar of the DepEd. Sometime in 2024, Olaivar personally called me for meeting to discuss about unprogrammed appropriations supposedly for the Office of the Executive Secretary. Subsequently, I submitted this list to Yusek Olaivar. Yusek Olaivar told me that commitment is 15%. Boss, quote unquote, 15 yan. Thereafter, the DPWH received a special allotment release order for 2.85 billion. Engineer Alcantara would collect and deliver the agreed 15% commitment to me, meaning Bernardo, which I delivered or caused to be delivered to Yusek Olaivar in Magallanes, Makati. Would you care to comment, Mr. Olaivar, as to the allegations that have been put forth?
Yes, Mr. Chair, Your Honor. Ako po, I deny those allegations. Wala pong katotohanan, Mr. Chair, Your Honor. Lahat po from the communication to nag-deliver to kay ES daw po, na wala naman po akong personality kay Executive Secretary. That time, kung 2024, baka yun yung papasok po ho kami sa DepEd. Wala ho. I mean, kahit nakakausap po si Executive Secretary, hindi po. And sa deliveries po, 15, wala po, Mr. Chair, Your Honor.
Would you care to perhaps give your own understanding of bakit ka therefore sinasangkot dito?
Actually, malaking
Siguro,
pala.
sabi mo kasi hindi totoo.
Yes
So
po.
I'm sure na-shock ka.
Yes po.
I'm sure
Totoo po
naisip
yan.
mo, teka, bakit ako pinupuntirya rito?
Totoo po yun, Mr. Chair, Your Honor.
So bakit kaya?
The-
Anong sagot mo?
Ay, ako lang medyo palaisipan po sa akin, Mr. Chair, Your Honor. Dahil kilala ko po si Yusek Bernardo, Yusek siya, Yusek po ko, and from previous yung na sinabi niya na kung paano kami nagkakilala. Pero hindi ho kami nag-away, hindi ho kami nagdebate. Wala akong makitang rason na kung bakit ako po ini-implicate niya. Even sa akin po. And sa pamilya ko, naging malaking palaisipan po na kung bakit po na-implicate po rito. Mr. Chair, Your Honor.
Okay, so again, that is a general denial, no? So you are asserting, you're saying, you're telling this committee that Mr. Bernardo is a liar.
Dun po sa allegation niya sa akin, yun lang po yung kaya ko pong sagutin.
Yes,
Na
that
hindi-
he is lying.
Opo, Mr.
That he is a liar with respect to
Dun po sa...
the allegations against you.
Yes po, Mr. Chair, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. We go na.
Pangilinan,
Yes.
follow-up lang.
Please, go ahead.
Alam mo, pag tinignan natin yung GAA, lalabas doon yung sinabi niya, mahirap ang invento ng figure, ha? Lalabas doon yung 2.85 billion from the unprogrammed appropriations. I'm not addressing this to you. I'm just saying na paano mag-iimbento ng numero si Yusek Bernardo. Mahirap yun. Eksakto eh. Pag tinignan natin yung General Appropriations Act at yung SARO na na-release, may listahan ng items. Eksakto, 2.85 billion. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Si Engineer Alcantara, kilala mo?
Na-meet ko po dahil po yung sa DepEd po kami, kapag parang nagkaroon po ng lakad si Presidente sa Bulacan. So kami po yung magkakasama nyon, nandun po siya. Tungkol po ito dun sa classroom after po mabaha yung Bulacan. So tumulong po sila sa pag-repair bago po dumating si Presidente. Your Honor.
So kilala
Mr.
mo
Chair.
si Engineer Alcantara?
Opo, Mr. Chair.
Ano yung Magallanes? Meron ka bang bahay sa Magallanes?
Wala po, Mr. Chair, Your Honor. Ako rin po, yun din po isa na kinagulat ko po, Mr. Chair, Your Honor.
Would you care to clarify, Mr. Bernardo, ano yung Magallanes? Would you know why? Yeah, a brief explanation or a...
Mr. Chair, kasama po doon sa pinaliwanag ko sa aking affidavit, meron pong instances na merong delivery doon sa Magallanes area. So yun po yung, bago po mag-expressway ng South.
Is it a public place or a private?
Yes po, Mr. Chair, public place.
Public place.
Public place po, sa
Okay.
parking po doon.
Okay, okay. Ikaw ba umuwi sa Magallanes, Mr. Olivar?
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, no po.
Makati, you go home to Makati?
No po, Mr. Chair. Your
Where do you go home?
Paranaque po, Mr. Chair, Your Honor.
Okay, Paranaque. Okay. We go to Mr. Ngu. You two have been identified in the affidavit of Mr. Bernardo. Would you care to clarify or explain what is your role according to Mr. Bernardo? Please go ahead.
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, I absolutely deny all the allegations made by Yusek Bernardo. That's the reason why I already filed a case against Yusek on defamatory insinuations. For this, I invoke the sub judice rule because it's pending already with the appropriate courts.
Yes, well, just for the record, the subjudicial rule does not apply to committee hearings in aid of legislation. In fact, the Supreme Court has already ruled. Otherwise, anyone can just file a case before any court, and if he's called here to the Senate for investigations in aid of legislation, he will just say, there is already a pending case, and therefore, the subjudicial rule applies. That is not so. If at all, what you can do is to invoke your right against self-incrimination and refuse to answer. But you cannot cite sub judice as a basis not to answer questions raised by any of the committees in the Senate. Just for the information of Mr. Mu. So, based on the... So, tatlo po sila na nagde-deny. And you also, therefore, because you filed a case of defamation, you're also of the view that Mr. Bernardo is a liar, at least with respect to the allegations against you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay. Sige. Now, I go back to yung mga tanong tungkol dito sa